Over 100 people are confirmed dead in Texas flooding as catastrophic rains hit Kerr County. Among the dead, 28 children at Camp Mystic. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Vanessa Broussard. You can see the scene here, a heartbreaking tragedy unfolding in Central Texas. Catastrophic flooding has claimed more than 100 lives across the Hill Country, with the search still underway for missing campers and residents. Torrential rain caused rivers to rise faster than many could escape. The Guadalupe River surged more than 25 feet in under an hour, sweeping through homes, roads, and summer camps. The first responders are Lone Star heroes, searching day and night with little to no sleep. We bring in reporter Anthony Aguero, who has been on the ground there in Kerr County. Anthony, thank you so much for being here with us today. If you are here, do we have Anthony? Okay, we don't have Anthony yet, but we are going to talk to him. He's been there to see the heartbreaking nightmare for so many families. There was a camp going on there for small elementary age, junior high age children. Counselors, they were high schoolers and college students. A lot of them swept away, families just finding out as late as yesterday that their children did not make it. You can see the first responders there from all over Texas and all over the country. The federal government has actually sent in help, helicopters flying from above, searching and making water rescues. It's been heartbreaking to watch. Over the July 4th holiday, people were celebrating Independence Day, but at the same time, we're keeping their eyes and their hearts on Kerr County, Texas, hoping for the best news that we possibly could. These pictures courtesy of Texas DPS. As you can see, they're even turning over trees and stumps, trying to find bodies. Cadaver dogs out searching for victims. That's still going on right now. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we'll have Anthony joining us. Anthony has been on the ground there with many of the first responders. He has seen firsthand an eyewitness account of just how devastating it is. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Whether it's being a weekend warrior or spending time with your family, feeling your best is the key to doing the things you love. That's why I'm excited to tell you about Nirvanta. It's a natural solution designed to help you stay active and live well naturally. Nirvanta is a topical blend of all natural essential oils like frankincense, myrrh, and a proprietary gold standard plant stock extract. It's perfect for your hands, feet, knees, back, or anywhere else that needs a little extra care. Use Nirvanta proactively as part of your daily maintenance routine, and you're guaranteed you're going to feel the difference. Simply massage Nirvanta in for at least 60 seconds, 2 to 3 times a day to get the best results. And if you're not completely satisfied, you get your money back. No questions asked. There's simply no risk and no reason not to try Nirvanta today. Right now, you get 15% off with code Lindell exclusively at nirvantahealth.com. So stop reaching out for that medicine cabinet. Get Nirvanta instead and experience the difference. Go to nirvantahealth.com. Use code Lindell to get 15% off today. Nirvanta Health. Live well naturally. Have you ever wondered what happened to the legendary Chuck Norris? Well, I recently saw a video he made and I was shocked. That guy's amazing and he's staying active well into his 80s. What's even more shocking is he's stronger, can work out longer, and even has plenty of energy left over for his grandkids. He did this by just making one change. He says he still feels like he's in his 50s. His wife even started doing this one thing too, and she's never felt better. She says she feels 10 years younger, her body looks leaner, and she has energy all day. Chuck made a very special video that explains everything. Make sure you watch it by going to chuckdefense.com/Lindell. It will change the way you think about your health. Once again, that's chuckdefense.com/Lindell. You won't believe how simple it is. The last time President Trump was in office, gold soared 50% and silver went up a huge 53%. Americans who invested in silver and gold during Donald Trump's first presidency are very happy that they did it. And right now, gold continues to soar to the highest numbers in history. These gains are just an appetizer for what's to come. Some market analysis are saying that gold is predicted to rise another 30% in the next year alone. So now's the time to invest in gold and silver, and that's why I partnered with Fisher Liberty Gold. Fisher Liberty Gold is a conservative-owned and operated precious metals investment company. They even helped my good friend President Trump get elected through their contributions to Turning Point USA and other conservative groups. I have dedicated my life to ensuring that people get the best sleep ever. And in addition to owning a MyPillow, I can now sleep well at night knowing that you can all protect your savings with precious metals with Fisher Liberty Gold. With Fisher Liberty Gold, you can sleep well knowing that your retirement is secure. And if you call now, you're going to receive your very own presidential gold guide and qualify for up to $20,000 in free silver. But wait, there's more. Call now or text metals to 26786 to receive your presidential gold guide from Fisher Liberty. And for a limited time, I will send you a free MyPillow for qualified accounts. This presidential gold guide from Fisher Liberty will tell you exactly why you need to own gold even while Donald Trump is president. And just by calling in, you get a free MyPillow for a limited time for qualified accounts and up to $20,000 in free silver. So don't wait. Call 1-888-4GOLD-19 or text metals to 26786 today. That's 1-888-4GOLD-19 or text metals to 26786 today to receive your free MyPillow and up to $20,000 in free silver.
Back now with the heartbreaking news going on in Kerr County, Texas, where those devastating Independence Day weekend floods have taken the lives of over 100 people, including kids. All of Texas in mourning, the nation in mourning. On the ground there, who witnessed it all was Anthony Aguero. He's a reporter who works the border a lot. But Anthony, thanks for joining us. I know you were there. This has to be so heartbreaking, a nightmare for so many families. What can you tell us about the scene there?
The catastrophic flash floods that struck Central Texas, particularly Kerr County, as of July 8th, the death toll has now reached of at least 109 people dead, with Kerr County reporting 87 deaths, including 30 children. Camp Mystic, an all-girls Christian summer camp along the Guadalupe River, was among the hardest, with 27 girls and staff confirmed dead, and 10 girls and 1 counselor, which are still currently missing. The floods, triggered by a torrential downpour of 10 to 15 inches of rain in just a few hours on July 4th, caused the Guadalupe River to rise 26 feet in 45 minutes, overwhelming the region known as Flash Flood Alley. Search and rescue operations are ongoing with hundreds of rescuers, including teams from California and firefighters from Ciudad Acuña, Mexico, scouring the Guadalupe River for survivors and missing individuals. The Federal Emergency Management Agency is currently on the ground, and President Donald Trump has signed a disaster declaration for Kerr County. However, hope of finding survivors is currently fading, and efforts are shifting towards recovery. More rain is in the forecast, raising concerns about further flooding in the Big Country, Concho Valley, and Central Texas currently right now.
And what is your thought process on this? You know, to see all the families in mourning, the families that rushed there to see if their loved ones survived this, and then some of them, they got great news. Others got the most terrifying news that a parent could ever imagine. What was going through your mind during that time?
Well, it's just devastating news, like anything. When you have anybody that where there's any deaths that are currently happening, I feel the last person that should be blamed here is President Trump. President Trump has zero control over any of Mother Nature and how she deems fit coming towards us. So the fact that the left is trying to politicize this and trying to shift the blame to President Trump and his current administration is utterly nonsense. Instead of blaming the blame, trying to put the blame on somebody right now, the left should focus more on bringing efforts and resources to try to help these grieving families. And there's a time and a place for everything, but right now trying to politicize and trying to capitalize off the deaths of so many is just utterly disgusting on behalf of the left right now.
Truly disgusting, because I couldn't believe my eyes whenever I saw social media posts with people already pointing the finger at certain government officials. And we know that President Trump wanted to come ASAP, but rescue efforts were underway and he didn't want to get in the way of rescue efforts. So he is visiting on Friday. Governor Abbott, the Texas governor, is there right now on the ground. He has issued a state of emergency across several counties. Shelters are open. You can see first responders having meetings. This is a big plan that they have to put in place, and they prepare for these types of situations, hoping that they never have to be and find themselves in these types of scenarios. But unfortunately, that's not always the case. But they are prepared. We have resources in Texas from all over the state, sheriff's deputies, first responders, private firms coming in. You know, Texas EquiSearch is there along with others, and it's just one of these cases where this is a magnitude that we weren't even expecting. You know, along the Texas Gulf Coast, you get a lot of hurricanes and storms, so they're prepared, Anthony, along the coast. But Central Texas, right there in the heart of the state, they call it the hill country. It's beautiful there. It's definitely God's country. And so you mentioned the Mystic camp, the Christian camp that was going on there, the hardest hit, so many lives taken. But we have to also look at the positive. The first responders came in, the camp counselors made sure those girls got out into safety as quickly as they could. And we just want to thank the first responders. What did you see when it comes to just how organized the first responders were there on the ground?
Well, Texans definitely came together in a vast effort in trying to do what's right and trying to bring these children to safety. It's no surprise to me because people from Texas are very resilient and they are always there to help one another. So it's definitely heartwarming to see so many people put their differences aside and come together and try to unite and come together as one to try to help all of these individuals who have been hurt and damaged by all this. There are tons of volunteers right now. There are a lot of individuals taking time out of their schedule, actually driving with their own personal vehicles, collecting funds on their own, trying to help alleviate some of the drastic hurt that some of these people are going through by donating food, and some are going as far as opening their houses. So there are a lot of shelters currently also, and a lot of people are bringing food and water and blankets and clothing items for a lot of these victims right now.
Yeah, that river was a beast, showing Mother Nature's force, the first responders battling the raging waters, as well as more rain, Anthony. So when that first flash came through and took the lives of so many, they were battling more rain in the forecast as well. So I was looking just last night, and the forecast seems to be clearing up for those rescue efforts. But we want to thank the first responders because they have had a hard time as well. They're human, they have hearts, and we've seen pictures all over social media of them crying as well, and how hard it is to have to tell a family who's been sitting there for hours waiting for the news, hopefully, you know, waiting for good news that their loved one has passed. So this is definitely a hard job for them. So can you talk about and elaborate on that?
Yes, ma'am. The first responders, you know, you can train as much as you want for scenarios and situations, but sometimes when it comes to seeing and recovering bodies, and especially young children, there's just some things you can never train for, and some things you can never be prepared for. And as I submitted some of the images of some of the first responders via law enforcement officers and agents that are out there on the ground, some of them could not hold their tears back, and rightfully so. It is a very catastrophic, traumatic situation in which they all find themselves in. And I think tonight, and probably for a little while well, we should hold a lot of these individuals dear and near our hearts and in our prayers, because it is very, very hard, the situation that they currently find themselves in. On another note, something that I don't want to dismiss, and sometimes truth is stranger than fiction. We have to really start looking into some of this cloud seeding that has been taking place. I know it has been a debacle, and a lot of people love to theme it off as a conspiracy theory. I'm sorry to tell a lot of these people that are deeming it as a conspiracy theory. This is not a conspiracy theory. Cloud seeding has been going on for many years. And from what I am hearing on the ground, a lot of people saw a lot of weird things happening a day or two before these massive floodings.
Right, and we've been covering that, Anthony, and watching that closely and trying to get to the bottom of that as well. So I know you're there, so if you have anything that you've uncovered or seen, please keep us posted so we can let our viewers know as well. But absolutely, this should not be swept under the rug, and needs to be seen about and handled immediately if that were the case going on in Texas. You've traveled the state, emergency situations, you've been at the border. I know there was an issue with the Border Patrol agents this week, a shooting that took place, an attack. Can you tell us about that while you're here?
Yes, ma'am. So out in McAllen, Texas, Border Patrol agents and ICE agents were ambushed right outside of one of their main facilities, where they are actually bringing in individuals that have been currently apprehended. They were ambushed by a lone gunman, and that opened fire on them. Luckily, as far as I know, none of the Border Patrol agents were injured. The individual was neutralized immediately as agents returned fire on this guy. But as far as that, I don't have much more information. It's still under investigation. It's an ongoing investigation, and as soon as I get more information on that, I'll be sure to bring it back to you guys.
We appreciate that, and we appreciate everything you do. Any last words of encouragement for the families in mourning right now, and also to the first responders who have to go home every night? And you know, a lot of them, Anthony, may have some regrets, or maybe I should have tried harder, or maybe I should have done this. You know, there's so many thought process that goes through their minds. So there's bedrooms at home that are empty this afternoon, and there's first responders who have to go home and live with this tragedy that they've worked day and night for. So any words of encouragement for them?
Well, I would just like to tell our audience to please continue to pray for our first responders and these families who have lost a loved one in this current aftermath. Continue to pray for them every day, every night before we go to sleep, and continue to reach out to them and let them know that they are loved, that they are cared for. And if you can, make sure, and if you can, and if it's within your means, go to one of the gifts and goes that has been put up by the state. There are a lot of frauds. Actually, something that I wanted to touch on is there are a lot of fraudulent gifts and goes and GoFundMe's, just using pictures of kids or whatnot. Make sure you do your due diligence before you send your hard-earned money to a scam artist. Be sure make sure you're sending it to the people that are actually on the ground and that will actually receive some of this monetary donation that you might be donating to these victims from these catastrophic events.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because there are a lot of frauds out there taking people's money. So make sure it is a state-run GoFundMe or a Give Send Go, because we want to make sure your money is going to the right places. Real quick, Anthony, before I let you go, I just want to also give our thoughts and prayers to the people of North Carolina dealing with the flooding there due to the tropical storm. So we're keeping an eye out on the Carolinas as well. Thank you for all you do,
There's also
Anthony, and for
fire. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. And there's also fires that are currently spreading right now across California. As of late last night, Malibu was being impacted, and there was mandatory evacuations out there as well. So I think we might be heading west here if things aren't getting any better in the next day or so.
Right, I saw that online. The Laguna Beach area under fire right now. So we're keeping our hearts and prayers out to everyone affected by flooding, fires, and everything that Mother Nature is throwing our way. Anthony, good to see you. Thanks for being here with us today and for that report.
Thank you.
All right, in other news, heading to Washington, President Trump held a cabinet meeting this morning, and he actually scolded a reporter asking about the Epstein files. Let's bring in Allison Steinberg live in Washington, D.C. with the very latest on that. Allison, how are you doing? Good to see you.
Hey, Vanessa, great to see you too. Yes, it's been a busy morning here at the White House. As you mentioned, President Trump's cabinet meeting earlier this morning. Unfortunately, Lindell TV was not in the cabinet meeting, but there were reporters in there who did ask some hard questions, one of which was the question pertaining to Jeffrey Epstein. Of course, this has been leading the news cycle as far as the conservative media is concerned. It's been trending on X for about the past 24 hours because, of course, you know, there are many inconsistencies regarding this Jeffrey Epstein case, none of which are really adding up. And now we're being told by the DOJ that that's it. No further information. Case closed. Epstein killed himself. And there's no client list, right? So these are all things that we've been looking into for quite some time. We know that there are things that are seemingly being covered up in all of this. And a reporter did ask the question to Trump about this today. He was sort of reprimanded. I don't know if we have that clip. We can pull it up. Do we have that clip? Okay, we do not have that clip, but Trump was sort of aghast when he heard this question by the reporter. He said, "Why are we still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? Who cares about this scumbag?" And then Pam Bondi sort of then responded with what's happening as far as the DOJ is concerned. But it was Trump's reaction to this that really caught me off guard, because I have always thought Trump has been very attuned to the MAGA base and issues that are important to us. He even said on the campaign trail that he would look into the Jeffrey Epstein situation and expose everything pertaining to that. Everything regarding Jeffrey Epstein has been really weak, unfortunately. We know the binder stunt that happened here at the White House was a big letdown. They just went home with binders full of data that had already been made available to the public. So there's no new information. It's just, I think the story here is that it's very disappointing that our current DOJ is not really doing anything to get to the bottom of this, and instead it's trying to sweep it all under the rug. And now we got confirmation today that President Trump is, I guess, okay with that. So that is a bit upsetting, to say the least.
It is upsetting, and I was really saddened to see that that was his response today, because the American people deserve more, and we were promised more. We were promised that the Epstein files would be released and that they would be made public. And, you know, early on in his administration, we saw Alina Habba come out and say, we are going to release all of this. Pam Bondi has said it, and now nothing. It's closed, and don't ask about it. And if you do, you're going to get scolded. I'm a little confused on what happened, and I know the American people are as well.
I think they are, and we are not going to stop asking questions. I'll tell you that much. They can try to sweep this under the rug and put an end to it all they want, but that's not going to stop even Trump's most loyal supporters from continuing to ask questions and press the administration about this. I know if I ever have the opportunity, I would happily ask about it, even though the response is not always very welcome. But I think it's something that we can't forget about. We can't let them just try to send this off into the distance, never to be seen again. I think there's a lot of people who are very upset about this. And interestingly enough, I think it could actually be a very unifying problem that could be solved, bringing both the left and the right together, because a lot of people care about this issue. It's not just Trump's MAGA base. A lot of Democrats care about this too. And I think if we got some real answers here and the DOJ actually worked to expose the truth, then it could be a very unifying matter. But I guess that is still yet to be seen. And unfortunately, it doesn't seem like we're going to make any major headway with that anytime soon. But that's okay. That's why we got to keep the public pressure on. And that is actually proven to work in this next scenario that I wanted to talk with you about, Vanessa, and that is mass amnesty for illegal. Now, of course, we know President Trump campaigned on mass deportations, and then started to maybe that was only for the violent, worst criminal offenders. Maybe he would make exceptions for illegal aliens like farmers and hotel workers. This has been a back and forth that's been ongoing for quite some time. Unfortunately, President Trump recently, just as of recent as Friday at his rally in Iowa, said that he didn't care if it upset the radical right. He was going to give amnesty to good aliens who contributed to the workforce, which is a huge letdown because that is not what we were promised and that is not what we want. We want the workforce here in America to be available to American citizens, legal citizens, right? Not illegal aliens that should never have been let in here. So people put on the public pressure on this one, and it seems to be working because now Trump has once again changed his tune. I think this is about the third time he's done this, but today in the cabinet meeting he addressed it. Let's take a listen to that.
There will be no amnesty. The mass deportations continue, but in a strategic way, and we move the workforce towards automation and 100% American participation, which again, with 34 million people, able-bodied adults on Medicaid, we should be able to do that fairly quickly. Thank you.
There's no amnesty. What we're doing is we're getting rid of criminals, but we are doing a work program. Do you want to explain that, please?
Yeah, this morning we talked about, of course, this was a top-of-mind question. This morning we talked about protecting the farmers and the farmland, but obviously this president's vision of no amnesty, mass deportation continues, but in a strategic way, and then ensuring that our farmers have the labor that they need. Secretary Chavez-DeRimmer has been a leader on this. Obviously, this comes out of the Labor Department, but moving toward automation, ensuring that our farmers have that workforce, and moving toward an American workforce. So all of the above.
We've got to give the farmers the people they need, but we're not talking amnesty.
So this is a step in the right direction because obviously anyone that is here in America illegally needs to be removed. I don't think there should be any amnesty whatsoever. So I really hope President Trump doesn't waver on this one again and change his mind because he has a couple of times already. It seems like he's pretty firm on this. But for the time being, this is still temporary amnesty, right? These people are still allowed to be here and there are still illegal aliens who have not been deported. So I think, President Trump is very pressed to get to the 1 million deportation mark that he has spoken very highly about many times. If he wants to make that number, I think we need to start on the farms and the hotels, the very place that he was considering giving amnesty to. So hopefully this helps to expedite the deportations. I think this is a great place to start, and hopefully they don't change their mind again.
Real quick, Allison, I talked to Anthony beforehand, before you came on. He's down in Texas on the border and also in Central Texas covering what's going on there with the floods. And we brought up the ambush of the agents down at the border. Anything you can provide for us new on that?
Well, there are actually 11 radical leftists who have recently been arrested. This story isn't really getting much traction, but let me pull it up here. There were 11 far-left extremists who were just charged in a major terror plot to kill ICE agents in Texas. Again, not really getting a ton of media coverage, but you have the photo there, if we want to pull that up, of the 11 faces. These radical Democrats are so far out of control. They have been continuing to go around the country, pushing back against ICE agents, law enforcement officers trying to do their job, carrying out these mass deportations and doing everything in their power to stop them from doing just that, and now even going so far as to trying to kill them. We know they have these groups online in which they speak about their horrific plans. There's even an app that CNN promotes called ICE Block, where you can locate and track down your local ICE agents and give them a real hard time. These are what the Democrats do. These are the resources and systems that they use to carry out their despicable behavior. It's disgusting, and I'm so grateful these people have been caught and are going to be stopped, but there should be zero tolerance for this behavior whatsoever. And if this is happening in Texas, we know it's certainly happening all across the country as these ICE raids continue, specifically in Los Angeles. It's getting really heated over there right now, and even the Los Angeles mayor is trying to stop ICE now from doing their job. So it's really a mess, Vanessa, and these people must be stopped.
Yes, and deported ASAP. Allison, thank you so much for that report. And thank you for joining us today here on Spin Room. We appreciate you being here with us. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow. And in the meantime, His Glory is next. You're watching Lindell TV.